Let's start. The chapter number 2 in concrete technology is the behavior of concrete. Introduction. See, the cement. The cement is that when it get react with the water, so it undergoes certain chemical reactions that will take place, resulting in that the concrete will get set or it has to be become a hardening of the concrete. The cement has majorly three contents, that is of C3S, that is tricalcium silicate, C2S abbreviated as dicalcium silicate, and C3A, that is called as tricalcium aluminate. These compounds we are called it as a complex compound. In this chapter, let us we learn about the hydration of compound with respect to the water cement ratios. First is the box compound. See, what do you mean by this box compound? Okay, the oxides which has present in the raw materials of cement, the oxides which has present in the raw material of cement get interact each other. They interact each other in kiln at a high temperature to form the complex compound. Then what are these complex compound? Definitely the concrete has a content of C3S, C2S and C3A. These compounds we are called it as a complex compound. RH box has been identified this compound in cement. Hence, this name we are call it as a box compound. Then what are the chemical compositions that has to be present in it and what is that? Let's see one by one. The chemical composition of Portland cements are of about, first is the tricalcium silicate. That means 3CaO SiO2 is the oxide composition and that we can abbreviate it as a C3S. This is a major compound which is present in the cement. And this is the compound is of about 30 to 50% of the compound is available in cement. Next is the dicalcium silicate. So this oxide composition we can abbreviate it as a 2CaO SiO2. Okay, it is abbreviation we call it as a C2S. It has 20 to 45% of content in the cement. Next is the tricalcium aluminate, that is 3CaO Al2O3. It is nothing abbreviated as C3A. It has got 8 to 12% in the cement content. Now the minor is the tetracalcium aluminoferrate, that is 4CaO Al2O3 Fe2O3, that is C4AF. It has 6 to 10% in the cement. This is a chemical composition of the our Portland cement. Next is the hydration of cement. See, before studying the hydration of cement, let's learn what the normal ordinary Portland cement has compositions that have. So what are the oxides that the cement has with their percentage? Let's see one by one. Lime. Lime is the major oxides which is present in the cement of 60 to 67% of overall quantity of cement. Silica is also the another oxides which is present of about 17 to 25% in cement. Later, alumina, that is abbreviated as Al2O3, has got 3 to 8% in cement. Iron oxide, 0.5 to 6%. Magnesia, so that is MgO, 0.1 to 4%, which is present of 0.2 to 0.3%, and also sulfur, that is SO2, 0.1 to 0.3%. Like this much of compositions which is present in the cement. Then what is this box compound? So how it will be related to the hydration of cement? Let's see one by one. See, in the picture, we can see that there are certain forms of clinkers, like the blue color what we are saying, that is called it as a C2S, and also the how the C3A and C4A, that is present in the cement in the form of clinker that we can see here. Let's see that what is hydration of cement. It is defined as a chemical reaction. Okay, it is defined as the chemical reaction between cement and water and forms a various complicated chemical compound. Okay, that means whatever the complex compound which is present in the cement, as it is mixed with the water, when it get mixed with the water, it forms the various complicated chemical compound. Generally, the C3S, C2S and C3A in cement, it react with water and forms of about a hydrosilicate and hydroaluminates. When these three major constituent present in the cement, that is C3S, C2S, C3A, when it get react with the water, okay, it forms the hydrosilicates and hydroaluminate. These two substituents we are call it as a gel. So gel has an adhesive property and binding the aggregate and also the sand together. It also fill the voids in the sand and aggregate. Next is how the hydration of cement will be taken place. As you know that the silicates of C3S and also C2S, they are the main responsible for the strength of the hydrated cement paste. However, C3A is also the beneficial in the manufacture of cement because as it facilitates the combination of lime and silica. The silicates of C3S and C2S, these are the two major cementitious compound which is present in the cement. Generally, C3S will hydrate more rapidly than the C2S. This C2S produces a very less lime than the C3S. Then how this heat of hydration will be taken place? So let's see that one by one. So the heat of hydration is nothing but it is defined as the heat generated. It is nothing but the heat generated when the water and chemical react. That means when the cement get react with the water, definitely there may be some sort of heat is generated. So that heat we are call it as a heat of hydration. So during the hydration, so whatever the heat will get generate, that we call it as a heat of hydration. Then what is the major compounds which causes the heat in the hydration? Definitely it is the influenced by the proportion of C3S, that is tricalcium silicate, and also C3A, that is tricalcium aluminate. Okay, so this heat of hydration, it also influences the water cement ratio and also the fineness of the cement and also the curing temperature. So students, let's see that, see what are the hydration products, so their methods and how it will be reactions will be takes place. So let's see one by one. See, the following are the important product of the hydration of the cement. First is the calcium silicate hydrates. It is abbreviated as CSH. Okay, this is the main product of C3S and C2S with water forms of about a calcium silicate hydrate. Okay, when this C3S and C2S chemically react each other with the presence of water, so and it form the calcium silicate hydrate. These CHS constitute 50 to 60% of solids in cement paste. It is more fibrous in nature and hence it have a larger the surface area. So it is forms of about a continuous binding matrix, and these CHS contribute the strength development in the cement paste. So generally, as we know that this C3S, that is tricalcium silicate, contribute the early strength in the concrete because the C2A will hydrates and it hardens also very slowly and provides a much of the ultimate strength. Next is the calcium aluminate hydrate. Okay. It is to be formed due to the hydration of tricalcium aluminate. So the name itself indicated that the aluminate, that is calcium aluminate hydrates. This C3A, when it get react with the water and forms of what is stiffening of the paste. Stiff means what? The little bit hardening of the paste. That is called it as a flashette. The hydrated C3A is generally not contribute to the strength of the concrete. Only that C2S and C3S generally contribute to the strength of the concrete. The stiffening of the paste can also be prevented by adding 2 to 3% of gypsum during the grinding of the cement clinkers. Then let's see that what do you mean by the gel space ratio? See, it is the ratio of solid product of hydration to the space available for the hydration. So gel space ratio, it is the ratio of solid product of hydration to the space available for the hydration. So generally this gel space ratio, it will reduce the porosity and also it increase the strength of the concrete. Higher the water cement ratio, definitely this will decrease the gel cement ratio. So increase the porosity, therefore decreasing the strength of the concrete. See, this is a chart they have given. So in the x-axis, they have proposed that, okay, gel space ratio, and the y-axis, the strength of about 50 cubes when it is to be checked. Okay. Then what do you mean by the water cement ratio? See, it is the ratio of, okay, the water cement ratio is the ratio of optimum quantity of water. It is nothing but the optimum quantity of water added to cement, to obtain the desired consistency. Consistency means easily workable and also workability of the concrete. It is generally expressed in liter of water required per bag of cement. Generally, for 50 kg of cement bag, so what is a liter of water is required? Like that, we are going to calculate. So there is a formula, water cement ratio, that is W bar C is equal to weight of water divided by the weight of cement. Next is the water cement ratio law. See, there are the different laws which has been present in it. So how it will be, what are its limitations? Let's see that in this law one by one. First is the Abraham's water cement ratio law. Okay, with the given concrete ingredients, okay, with the given concrete ingredients and test condition, the quantity of mixed water determine the strength of concrete. We have a formula that is S, that is strength of concrete is equal to K1 divided by K2 to the power of X, where K1 and K2 are the relative constant and X is nothing but like a water cement ratio. This is what the Abraham's water cement ratio law. Then he has proposed one graph that, so let's see that in this graph you observe that the x-axis consists of the water cement ratio and the y-axis is consist of the compressive strength. The strength of the concrete is inversely proportional to the W. So that means W bar C ratio, that is water cement ratio. For a hand compaction, so generally we require higher the water cement ratio because of not proper compaction. For the machine vibrator compaction, we require a less water cement ratio also. If water cement ratio is very, very low, then compaction is not at all possible outside. Then what is the limitations of Abraham's law? So let's see that what is the limitations in the Abraham's law. Then the effect of entrapped air on the strength of the concrete is not considered in this law. That means Wherever the concrete has been mixed up, certain entrapped air which has to be present in the concrete, so that the entrapped air concepts has not been covered in Abraham's law. Strength at any water cement ratio depends upon the physical and chemical properties of cement. Definitely, if the physical and chemical properties of the cement will be the good, definitely it will impact on the strength. Next, third is the temperature during the hydration. That means during the hydration process, what is the temperature and what corrections, moisture corrections we are going to apply. So that also we need to consider. Air content in concrete. Next, fifth is the formation of crack due to bleeding and shrinkage. Definitely, there may be a chances of certain shrinkage and also the bleeding. So that also we are not considered. Then what is the quantum of water required for the hydration? See, based on the major compounds which is present in the cement, so we need to decide the water required percentage. So generally the compound of C3S, that is tricalcium silicate, will have a percentage of 24% of water we are going to require. For the CTS, we required of about 21% of water. For the C3A, so we required 40% of water. For the C4FA, 37. Since C3S and C2S compound, it required average of 23% of water by weight of cement for the chemical reaction. However, certain quantity of water is entrapped within the gel pores, that is called as a gel water. Then what is the water required? Actual water, how much is required for the hydration? Let's see. Gel water requires 15% of water by the weight of the cement. Therefore, initially we are laying 23% of water. So now due to this gel pores, so we need to increase the 15% of water. So therefore 38% of water by weight of cement is required for the complete hydration process. If less than 38% causes the incomplete hydration and thus will be decrease the strength of the concrete. Therefore, if more than 38% also, concrete become a more porous in nature. Thank you.